Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Welcome into the KFS Summer League postgame show number 5 out of 5. What's up? It's your boy, Kris Pursiainen. I'm here alongside Kev Words, our third time linking up here on a Summer League postie. And hey, look at that, man. That we're 3 for 3. Right? They've won every game we've done a post game for. So the solo show and Sean with the W, we're fired, man. If Kev's on the post game, they're winning. That's a common denominator if I've ever seen one. What's up, everyone? Welcome in. It's great to see y'all in here. And man, perfect. Rodney said it in the chat. I want to make note of something, which is that no matter how much you want to poo-poo or diminish or make light of the fact that it's just Summer League, this is the last time that legally, at least, blue and orange jerseys that say New York on them will be used to play professional basketball until October. I should say professional sports, knowing the Mets demise is coming, but I can say that because I'm a fan. Yankee fans, shut up. It's like your cousin. Like, you can make fun of them, but don't talk don't talk about my family. Listen, what's up, everyone? Kev, I'm gonna go right to you and just say, God bless you if you know anything about half the guys that touched the court tonight, but your takeaways from this game, from the Knicks' final win out of a 3-win streak, starting 0-2 in the Summer League, finishing off 3-2. What do you got?
I got Tyler Kolek being, as much as we talked about him in the draft cycle, I think he's that. I think he's shown that not only is the vision there, but the decision making is there. You know, the difference being seeing the pass and then actually deciding when and how to make the pass. And then the execution is also there. We saw him make some really good passes today. What did he end with? Hold on, I don't have my box score up. He ended with 6 assists.
I got you. He had 6 assists, and guess how many turnovers?
0.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else can you ask for a second round pick? Even though this is such a weird draft because he's like clearly first round talent compared to most of the talent in the first round, even creeping into the lottery.
Well,
but he ends up going 34th. He ends up going 34th, and I think he's showing that. Yeah, I feel confident there. I feel confident that this is something. Exactly what it'll be, I don't know. At the very least, I think backup point guard for a long amount of time, unless he was traded in some sort of deal for another guy or something like that. And then Rokas Jokubaitis, for all the times I felt like I mention him and other people kind of poo-poo him and say, oh, whatever. Now, nope. He's what I thought he was. I think he's also another rotation guard. And to go back to the question yesterday of what would I do? I want both of them. I want both of them involved somehow, some way. I think it's not. They're both high second round picks, and I don't think it's worth it to kick those assets down away just because it may not be perfect right now.
Listen, he played so well. And you talked about Kolek, you talked about Rokas. That takes us perfectly into the first super chat we've got today. Manny Campos, I remember, he says, when Knick fans would have killed for a point guard prospect like Deuce or Kolek or Rokas. The fact that the team has all three playing behind an MVP candidate is wild. And that's a great way to say it, because holy crap. Emmanuel Mudiay, these are not strays. This is just reality, right? Like Trey Burke, Emmanuel Mudiay, was like one end of the spectrum. The
We,
opposite end of the spectrum was like
no, we can't
Raymond
stop.
Felton.
Langston Galloway, Torrey Murray, Kadeem
Langston
Allen.
Galloway still on the goddamn USA team.
USA, yeah.
That's a real vet right there, man. They know his value. They know.
Yeah, we've had so many different point guards where they do one little thing, we get so excited. You look at the run Jeremy Lin had, and he has documentaries and all types of fanfare for the Linsanity run. I think Manny's right with the point guard depth we have now. We haven't seen this in a minute. Like the last time was probably back when, what was it? We drafted Mark Jackson and then Rod Strickland.
I was gonna say Jackson and Strickland, but when the team had Jackson and Strickland, I mean, obviously, besides the team having both Brunson and Quickly, who are gonna, they totaled. Oh, I hate math. 325 on their deals, I think, Lord. Something like that.
Good Lord.
So yeah, but yeah, like this is awesome. The New York Knicks are flush with talent at every position except center, where they have a good one, but that's about it. What else can you say? I guess power forward too. They have a really good one, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But man, like, who cares, right? OG plays power forward, so that, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
so
matter.
Does Josh Hart. Shouts out to Josh Hart.
Whether he likes it or not, whether he likes it or not, he plays power forward too, man.
He thinks he's a guard, Tim says. Yeah, right.
Oh, man. So, yeah, they're hooping, bro. This summer league team was a lot of fun. We'll run through some numbers on the 2-point guards. So Tyler Kolek, we said, had 6 assists, but the full stat line, not his best. 6 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He had 1 rebound, and we consider him a decent rebounding guard on here. So that was a little, but he played 14 minutes. Who cares? 2 of 4 from downtown, but 0 of 4 from inside the arc. A little less exciting. 2 of 8 overall. You look at Rokas, man. This was an 8-point win, and Rokas was a team high plus 18, a game high plus 18. 4 of 7 from the floor, 2 of 2 from downtown, 2 of 3 from the line. He had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. The man did have 6 turnovers. Kev, back to you on this. 5 assists, cool. 6 turnovers, not as cool. It's summer league. We get it. He's older, pro player overseas. We get it a little less. What's the back and forth for you on the 6 turnovers for Rokas? And I guess just if you want, like, you like him, right? Like, just wax some poetic for us, man, because the kid can play, but for some reason, there are so many people out there that are like, oh, who cares? He's negligible, whatever. But like, I don't know. I've been told young Knick guards are negligible too many times. Like, Deuce McBride used to not matter. Emmanuel Quickly used to not matter. So
that's it.
How we feel about Rokas, how we feel. First of all, start me off with the 6 turnovers. Like I said,
all right.
Then you can, that's not digression if I'm telling you to do it, but like you can expand into some what he brings to the table-esque analysis.
So the turnovers, a couple of them I saw, it was like, I think it was like there's an execution in the passes that I think Tyler Kolek has that Rokas doesn't completely have. I think Rokas, though, knows what reads to make, and he typically makes them on time. But I'm noticing he doesn't have the touch always, or like the accuracy on the passes. But some of this could also be, who is he passing to? Guys who he hasn't played with much. Even this game versus the other games, the rotation was a little bit different. Coach Dice getting other people into the game who haven't played much during summer league. So
the Hawks didn't play Risa Shea or Buffkin or Jurisic or Gaye.
Right.
Sam Sele and Amari Kelly and AJ Griffin's brother, Alan Griffin, and Kamani Johnson played an average of 14 and a half minutes per game out of the four of them. So that's what this game was. Justin Lewis played 11 minutes. Like Obadiah Noel played 24 and a half minutes. That's where we were at today.
Right. So I think that's some of it. The other thing is, you know, being a summer league psycho, or I'm sorry, summer league sicko, you kind of have to like balance, your own personal, oh, I want to watch this, I'm excited, versus like making any takes that make you sound ridiculous. So that's what they say. The first league of summer league is that it's only summer league. At the end of the day, for this Knicks team, we're looking at guys who might be our third string. But the importance of that is in the playoffs, when you have Joel Embiid throwing your guys to the ground and Nick Batum diving on people's ankles, we saw that a Deuce McBride, who in the beginning of the season was not on anybody's playoff rotation. Everybody thought, oh, Deuce may get some minutes, but in the playoffs, he's not going to play. He ended up playing major minutes in the playoffs. So I'm not going to like downplay what these third string guys could be. These guys could be the bridge. These guys could be, somebody gets hurt and they end up playing 25 minutes during that span. And maybe like the success of them is like, okay, let's give them another game. Let's give them a little bit more time to get ready when the main guys come back and they pop back out of the lineup. That's sometimes what has to happen. So in looking at this team, I feel as if looking at this summer league, we have at least 2 to 3 guys who could be played in the NBA regular season for more than garbage time minutes, and we'll be okay.
That's what it is, right? Like from the signings the Knicks have made to the trades, like, you look at campaign, Keita Bates-Diop, it's about not getting caught in a situation where you need to play your 7 or 6 guys and that's it. And some of them are playing 48. That's it to me. Is like, and I was talking about this with Dex Henry on his show, New York Got Game. Like, no one's saying Tibbs should switch to a 11-man or 10-man rotation, but in the regular season, if you're up 24 with 4 minutes left, you have a crew of guys you can throw in that do 2 things at once. One, they don't make you have to play any starters. You're not compromising any starters or feature bench players like Dante or Josh Hart in terms of injury risk, but you're also not like throwing the game. Like you're not saying like, oh, I really hope these guys don't give up. Tibbs is scarred by that, the T-Mac, right? Like he's never gonna let that go. Josh Hart, I think, has him or Deuce has joked as much and has said like that guy is so scarred about late game comebacks, like he'll never get over seeing that happen live. Which okay, but campaign at the 1 isn't throwing a game. Like that's a serviceable NBA guy, Last year it was like, hey, please put in Jacob Toppin, right? Like that was never going to happen. So that's what it is. It's just injury proofing. And summer league is about, looking at certain guys like Dadier and Kulik and Jokubaitis. It's also about getting looks at the potential fits of a Skopinsev, of a Huck Porty, of, people that are less likely to be involved at any point in their Knick career. But who the organization at some point in their process deemed were worth a shot. So with that said, let's go over to Center World. Let's talk Huck Porty. Let's talk Skopinsev. They played a combined 24 minutes. So we don't have a whole lot of material here. But this is their, 5th game of Summer League action. There are takeaways to be made. to be had. We'll start with Ariel, who was 4 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 2 from the line. He had 2 offensive boards for 7 total. He scored 10 points, 1 block, 2 turnovers. Anything jump off the page to you in particular about Huck Porty? I'll say for me, it was the finish, like the little, he put it on the floor in the restricted area and finished inside at the start of the game. And that, oh my God, that poster dunk off the Rokas lob was crazy. That was a really awesome play. That was really fun. Kev, any takeaways from you on Huck Porty, or as Big Nick Energy just dropped in our chat, Ariel Hulk Porty? He deserves that after that poster slammer jammer, Mr. Words.
Yeah, I think Huck Porty, he does the like the Mitchell Robinson things just at a lower percentage. He does the the drop coverage is decent. It's not bad at all. I expected it to be worse than it was. It's like he like fundamentally knows what he needs to do, is whether he has the capacity to do it at a high level. The lobs are crazy. Him and having that synergy with both Kolek and I believe Rokas got him with one, unless Rokas sent to
Rokas was the one who
Scott.
sent up the one that he posted.
The poster one was Rokas, yeah.
That was pick and roll with Rokas, yeah.
Yeah, and he'll be a rim runner on the offensive end. I still do. I like how he's in moments. He's like, no, I'm gonna post up and try to do with a hook shot, maybe even finishing with either hand or over either shoulder. It doesn't look that good though. But I like the fact that he's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna like try to do this. I think that really matters, especially for a second unit that may struggle to like have fluid offense. Like that thing really matters. I mean, truthfully, we know our second unit is like a combination of our like, bench starters, like, Josh Hart and Dante and Deuce, and our starters. So, theoretically, like none of these guys are gonna be doing this that much at the highest levels or with the big league team. But again, I'm interested in seeing what they do with the Westchester Knicks. I'm interested in seeing, what they could do when they need to fill in. I'd like to see both Skapintsev and Huck Porty man the center minutes in Westchester. I like to see, whoever else is out there doing the thing. It looked like Dadier was getting a little more creation attempts today, which didn't quite. He was like, didn't drive past anyone once. Like every drive attempt was kind of thwarted.
Pacome Dadier 1 for 6 from the floor, 0 of 4 from 3.
Yeah.
He had that like the one make was the little like push shot floater.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, a block, a turnover. Very like milk toast game from him. John Pettit in the chat asks, would we be able to trade these guys? What's the rule on that? They could trade the draft rights to McCullough Jr. because they have not signed him yet. Everyone else has been signed and cannot be traded right now. I don't think. I think there's a 60-day restriction on that. So yeah, that's for the rookies at least. Yeah, Dadier, whatever. 18. We will laugh off the bad misses and look at the size, look at the fundamentals, look at the process, and be like, okay, there's something there. Dadier played the 3rd most minutes today. That's a good thing, right? He's clearly not someone who they think they need to limit the minutes of because they're too good or whatever. Like Damian and Tyler played 28 minutes combined. Dwayne Washington played 7.5 minutes. They really said like, yo, chill. We know what you can do. Dwayne hooped yesterday. Kevin and I have talked about him as like a necessary evil. Then he came out and made a 6 for 18 showing that I was like, okay, maybe he's an unnecessary evil. But I came back around on that after yesterday's hoop out. let's go the other way, man. Let's go to Scappy. Let's go to Dmytro Skopantsev. 3 of 5 from the floor, 3 of 4 from the line. 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers. What'd you think?
Well, we got one comment from Aaron Christmas saying Scappy looks good in the short roll. Yeah. Yeah, he does look like he on the offensive end, he has a little bit of more than what the typical rim running Knicks center provides. He could, post a little bit, has a little bit of a mid-range jumper in the short roll, unlike when he gets the ball after a screen. He seems to make solid decisions. He does the DHO and roll. I think he's an interesting guy. My only thing, he blocks shots and everything. My only thing is like foot speed, and then taking that to the NBA level. How much is he going to hurt you on the defensive end, and if teams are just going to completely attack him? But for what he is right now, given our situation, I don't want to give up big time assets for a mediocre backup center. I'd almost rather just run it back with what we have. Maybe, finally announce a signing of Precious Achiuwa, and then have Jericho as the third big. And if there's an injury to one of the bigs, you bring up Hukporti or Skopantsev as the next one, and they will be the third big.
Yeah, like that's where we're at, right? We're not in a situation with either of these bigs where we're like backup center trade who, like yeah. I would bring back Precious Achiuwa.
I don't want to give up I don't want to give up Miles McBride for Nick Richards, and I don't want to give up Miles McBride and multiple assets for Walker Kessler. So, all the Goga Batazes and all the other options that Jeremy Cohen like painstakingly put in his cap or no caps.
Goga, man, instantly got that $8 million a year bag. That was crazy.
Yeah, but it is what it is, and this team, the Mikal Bridges trade doesn't mean that this team is finished. It doesn't mean the championship roster has to be this. Even a year from now, another pick opens up that could be traded for another upgrade. But I think Knicks fans should be happy. The team is got a lot of players who could really, really play.
Yeah, and the defense with Skopantsev is definitely the thing. Someone was saying in the chat, why are we talking Scappy? His defense is not there from East Blue Drew. Big Nick Energy. I heard Scap is trash in the G League. 26 and a half minutes per game. He averages 12 and 8. 3.5 of those rebounds are offensive. He averages 3.2 assists per game. So he's clearly, moving the ball, and only 1.9 turnovers to that is like not bad either. 1.6 blocks is not something I'm going to be like, oh, see, because I think that speaks more to his lack of mobility and the fact that he's always in the, in the restricted area than it does anything else. I just can't, you can't go into the season planning to play any of the centers that are not Mitchell Robinson on the roster right now. Skopantsev has, I think he appear in 2 Knick games at the NBA level.
I know definitely one. I know he definitely played minutes in the NBA for the New York Knickerbockers, but
yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was the second one. It was 2 games.
It was like an average of like 2 minutes a game, and he did nothing. He literally he hasn't taken. Oh no, he took 1 shot total in the 2 games, and he missed it. So whatever. That's where we're at.
Yeah, listen, again, we're not talking about
these guys are
making him the new Isaiah Hartenstein or anything. No. This is just like, he's like playing decently well for our G League team or our summer league team, and he played decent for the G League team. That's probably where he'll be. He'll probably just be in Westchester. Like you said, Chris, he's gonna allow He's going to play in a style where the guys who we have in Westchester that we're really looking to develop for the future, they're going to be playing along with a center who's going to be able to kind of do some of the things that the Knicks want their centers to do. So there's like some sort of level of consistency. But other than that, nobody's like talking. I see East Blue Drew. Yeah, Huck Porty is way better with his footwork and his defensive movement, his IQ. But yeah, look, Huck Porty was starting and Skapintsev was coming off the bench. So yeah, we're just giving shout out to Scap for his good play more than anything.
Hard play, man. Hard, tough player. We got a super chat coming in. Thank you so much to the very nicely named LGM. What's up? Thank you so much. He says, they say, I'm gonna miss this summer squad. In Leon we trust. Let's go Knicks. Yeah. I mean, I feel like what's awesome is that we're so past the is Leon Rose good at his job discussions. You know, like, right? Like those aren't that no one should be asking that question. He is very good. He's a top GM or Pobo or whatever you want to call it in the NBA. The people that complain about Leon Rose, like, just I guess I don't care about saying this. Like, they just didn't understand team building at the NBA level. Just didn't. Right? Like, the Knicks were doing all the right things to lay the foundation for building a good team. And everyone was like, why won't he go in front of the media and get fined for announcing which 7 stars he's targeting? Huh? If Leon Rose had a plan that was so good, wouldn't he tell everybody? Huh? What's the plan? If you can't say a plan, there must not be one. Okay. 50 wins, second round, second year in a row. Shut up, maybe. Like,
that's the plan.
He's really good. And I remember like the Tibbs defenders being like, Leon screws this guy every year. So the Knick fans that don't know ball think Tibbs is bad because Leon screws him over. Like what were we ever doing there? Yeah, the guy's really good at his job. In Leon we trust. Facts, LGM. Kev, what would you say?
Yeah,
Top 3,
I think,
top 5, like, leader of a basketball
GM
team? Yeah, like
right now.
the Knicks technically don't have a GM.
Oh, right. It says president, and then
Yeah,
there's like a whole bunch of other guys.
Yeah, there's nobody that is listed as general manager.
In terms of team builders, what is he? I mean, what do you want to? You want to give Sam Presti all of the roses and then throw Leon a few after that? It's like
Presti, Stevens, Leon. That's the top 3 in the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't care what order you put it in. Stevens inherited an amazing team. He also probably, as head coach, had a hand in building it in the first place. Sam Presti, like, goddamn, bro, if you tank that many years and are bad for that many years, I would hope after stockpiling all those picks, you'd be good. Now, what's impressive to me about Presti is the fact that the Thunder are very good right now, and they still have so many first-round picks because they got 2 really good players, 2 starter caliber players in Caruso and Hartenstein. And they didn't give up a single first-round pick for either one. That's really impressive.
They did a good job of flipping, what is it, from Domantas Sabonis,
Oladipo, Sabonis,
Oladipo, and then Paul George, and then all the picks they got from there. They did a good job with that. And Brad Stevens, from before he was the general manager, the Celtics killed the Nets in that trade, and they got all their riches from that. The Knicks kind of just did it, just without an abundance of picks, without even being super duper bad for all but really 1 year, where we had the best odds for the first pick and ended up getting the 3rd pick. I think you gotta give a lot of roses to Leon Rose too. Got to give him his flowers. He's done his thing. Hopefully, he gets us there. He gets us to the final champions, to the championship that we've been waiting for years.
Listen,
I want.
Go ahead.
I want to. There's a string of chats I want to quickly talk about.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna throw a bunch of these.
I was gonna say from Summer Jam them.
They're all from David Smith. Knicks need a starting center, not so much a backup. Mitch is not a reliable starter. His injury-prone, unreliable, inconsistent, with zero offensive game and a turnover machine who can't pass the ball. He's killing Mitch.
That's funny, but zero offensive game is the Knicks' MO at center. That's what they do. Like Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, and Julius Randle are going to start for this basketball team. Dirty Dancer Gerson Rosas is technically not the nominal general manager. His role is executive. Oh, he's the senior VP of B-ball ops. So there's no one whose job title is general manager. Anyway, David Smith, I totally understand you here. But I'll say quickly, and then Kev, you go off. No offensive game is like the Knicks style, and now they clearly think there's a market inefficiency with centers that don't have a bag or whatever. And the thing with Mitchell Robinson is he's unreliable as a starting center only at this point because of his proneness to being injured. I don't think there's anything about his game, unless you want to argue it's his style of play that leads to him getting hurt so much. I don't think there's anything about the guy's game that says like he can't be the starting center on a team where the power forward is a 6'9" pass, shoot, dribble, versatile slasher, bruiser. The small forward is a 3-4, 3-and demon, who can put the ball on the floor, who can create a little bit in the mid range. The shooting guard is a 2-3, 3-and demon, who has way more on ball in between game than the small forward, and who has an insane wingspan, just like the small forward. And the point guard is an MVP candidate. Like Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Randle. Give me a center who doesn't want the goddamn ball, right? Like, give me a center who wants to just protect the rim, do his job, and go home. If the injury proneness is a very good point. The rest, to me, I don't think anyone should care. I know the Knicks as an organization don't.
Yeah, I think David Smith, were you not watching Mitch this season before he got hurt? Before he got hurt, the defense was crazy. He was all over the place. He was a menace in the paint, playing in drop. Is he perfect? No. Does he playing against, guys like Kristaps Porzingis and Brook Lopez? Is it a little problematic at times? Possibly. But Mitch is a starting center. His next one was the Mitch should trade for a starting center like Jalen Duren.
What? Yo, all right. Mitchell Robinson's better than Jalen Duren at basketball right now. Like straight up. I liked Duren out of college. I had him like number 8 or 7 on my draft board. He is an excellent NBA prospect. What the fuck, man? What are we doing?
He doesn't guard like Mitch anywhere close to what Mitch does on the defensive end. It's not close. He grabs a lot of rebounds. He's athletic and he's I think he's a really good prospect, but I think you're discrediting exactly what Mitch means to this team on both offense and defense. He has, even though we don't throw a lot of lobs to Mitch, the gravity he has for that play makes it a lot open for the guards that are coming off the screens.
Tyler Kolek got something for him.
That's a fact. And I don't know. I've heard some anti-Mitch people go off, and it just seems
I used to be one.
a a lot of people didn't want Mitch to get paid, but I feel like he's really, really good at what he does. Really, really good at what he does. I don't know. I think
Throw Dirty Dancer up.
Which one?
Not
The
like that.
latest?
Yeah, there we go. I too would take Jalen. Yes, David Smith. We did watch Duren last year. Did you know that the team he was on? Get this, man. So NBA teams play 82 games. They won 14. Like, dude, yes, I did watch him every single game lose. Like, I mean, listen, Jalen Duren's I think he will be a good basketball player. At the center position for the New York Knicks, defense is super important. If you don't think I have an objective eye, that's okay. Let's go to the numbers. Dunks and threes, EPM, you know it, you love it. Offensively, this lines up. Jalen Duren was a 0.3 positive, 75th percentile in the NBA. He's for a center, especially, he's good on offense. 41st percentile defensively. 41. Okay? So overall EPM was a negative 0.5, which is 66th percentile in the NBA. Now, for the Detroit Pistons, that's good, right? Because if we talk about the Detroit Pistons in general, like Jaden Ivey, who they started, was 61st percentile overall EPM, 49th percentile defense, right? Cade Cunningham, who's supposed to be their $200 million man, their savior, was so bad on defense that it dragged his 88th percentile offense overall to 74th percentile because Cade was 24th percentile on defense. Duren I think is going to be good. I think he'll be a very good player. I would take him on the New York Knicks because I think he'd be a fun slider or curveball to the fastball that is Mitchell Robinson. The thing is, you've got to acknowledge why Mitchell Robinson is the fastball for this team. It's because he is exactly what they look for in a center. And Jalen Duren is damn near the opposite of that. I guess like Alperen Şengün's the actual opposite. But Duren's going to be good. Just, it's not 2K. Oh my God. Do you see that? Right after I said that, John Pettit, okay, this is not 2K. Yes, Duren could be good, but why would the Pistons give up a young guy with upside for what would have to be real assets? That's a great point too. I would give them the protected first for Duren, but like I don't think they're gonna take that. You can't count on teams being poorly run to just like hand over a good player to you. So yeah, let's go to a super chat. We got one that came in from Matt G. DDV and Hart cutting Sims lob threat with Kolek off the bench. Don't forget Deuce's 3-point shooting and defense. Like, whether Kolek plays or not, that bench unit's gonna hoop. Kev, what would your bench unit be as of today?
Probably OG Anunoby at the center. No. Do we have as of today? We don't have Precious.
I'll let you bring back Precious.
Okay, good. Precious at the center, OG at the 4, Josh Hart at the 3, Dante DiVincenzo at the 2, and Miles McBride at the 1.
Yeah. Word.
And then you switch OG out, bring Julius back in, or you switch Precious out, bring Julius back in. Or no, you'd have to take OG out. Or no, you could take OG and Precious, bring Julius and Josh Hart. Listen, I saw a podcast. I don't remember the name, and I'm sorry. I really wanted to remember the name, but they were really discussing the Golden State Warriors death lineup and comparing it. Was this X? I think this was XJ and Frank on Hot Hand Theory.
Hot Hand Theory. I was gonna guess it was them.
Shout out to XJ. They were talking about the Golden State Warriors death lineup and like how many minutes they played, and it really wasn't like that many minutes. I'm just saying, given the way this team is constructed right now, it just makes too much sense where we're going to end up seeing minutes where there is no traditional Knicks five. There is no like Mitch Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein style five. It's going to be OG Anunoby guarding the other team's five. It's going to be Julius Randle or Precious Achua maybe. It's going to be Mikal Bridges, and then it's going to be the bench guards. So it's going to be Josh Hart and the bench. And you know what I'm saying? It's not going to, I think we're going to see a lot more minutes of that than we've seen before. So this quote unquote need for the backup center is like, I think it's a little bit overblown. However, Mitch does get hurt. And I
Exactly.
do
So
understand because of that, we need another big man. But in talking about the ideal form of this team being a contender, yeah, Boston wouldn't have been a contender if Jaylen Brown wasn't there either. So we're always like kind of like, I don't know if we're like expecting the default to be the Knicks to have to fight through injuries and still be the best that they could be. And you don't expect that for other teams. Like, no, of course, if some of our main players are hurt, we're not going to be contenders anymore. But if the idealized form of this team is everyone healthy, I think that's more of what we're going to see. The backup center you're going to give up assets for isn't going to play that many minutes in the playoffs anyway.
nostalgic Nick, we're talking bench lineup right now. No one, hopefully, no one is planning to start OG Anunoby at center.
Oh, come on. No.
So yeah. When I say hopefully, I mean like in the Knicks organization. We got a super chat on the board. Let's put it up on the screen. Alan, first of all, thank you so much. What's going on? Good to see you in here. Thank you to everyone who came out for the 5th and final Summer League stream with Kev and I. We brought you guys draft class. We're bringing you guys the Summer League post games. Undefeated when Kev words is on the screen. So take that for what it's worth. Alan says, Kevin, Kris, thanks for all the great chat on draft and Summer League this year. Thank you for tuning in, man. Tell me, though, am I nuts for thinking Ariel Hukporti can play for the New York Knicks and Tom Thibodeau right now? I would say, let me cheat on answering this, and let me split this question. Like if you said, am I nuts for thinking Hukporti could play NBA ball at 11 minutes a game right now? I would say, no, I don't think you're crazy. I don't think I would do it if I were trying to win ball games, but if I were forced by injury to do it, I would be fine doing it. Because he's never played in the NBA before, and because you mentioned one Thomas Thibodeau as the head coach of the New York Knicks, I would say, yes, you're nuts, but like, I get it, right? I just, here's what I'll point out. For all the people that are like, oh, he's not making enough hook shots or what, like, no, he's a good rebounder. I just think the defensive versatility isn't there. And that's kind of crazy because Tibbs does not need centers that are super defensively versatile. If you can play drop coverage, you're usually fine, but you've got to be mobile enough. Hartenstein was more heavy set than Mitch Robinson, even after the Mitch Rob bulk up, but both were switchable. Both can get out and defend outside of the paint. Hukporti, good in drop coverage. You would think that would be enough because he doesn't have to be good on the perimeter, but he can't get out to the perimeter. So that's why I would say he couldn't play for Tibbs or the Knicks right now. And someone like Jericho is probably like slotted to play over Hukporti right now. Kev, what do you think?
Yeah. I want to rotate. Let me answer this first. I think he can. I don't think you're nuts for thinking he can play for the Knicks. He definitely can. And there's also reasons why he can't. And, the way I look at things is when you're projecting things like this, it's about, predicting and percentages and trying to weigh different types of data to understand what you think is going to happen. Like, for example, a lot of people didn't think Precious Achiuwa was going to play for the Knicks, and then guys got hurt. He played, and he looked way better than a lot of people gave him credit for when he was really, really like playing a lot of minutes. I could see a world where Tibbs takes what Hukporti could do and makes it serviceable, like in some lower level of minutes. I don't think it's likely. I think likely, first of all, he's on a 2-way contract. So he's going to be spending a lot of his time in Westchester, and that's where he's going to cook and develop. But I wanted to talk about the whole concept of when discussing lineups. So if you were looking at it from a depth chart standpoint, yeah, like the backup center may be Sims, and the backup power forward is KBD, and but I don't see those. I don't see Keita Bates Diop playing the rotation minutes with the structure of the team that we have, because there's Josh Hart off the bench. We have too many guys who are going to deserve to play 30 minutes for a lot of the tail end guys to matter as much. Not to matter, but to get the time that where people think whether they're good enough matters. So I'm saying it now. Do not be surprised if you see us play more minutes with small ball lineups with either Julius Randle or OG Anunoby at the center position, however you want to look at it, offense, defense, and less time for a traditional backup center that we're used to. We're used to Hartenstein playing, 23 minutes. Or 24 minutes. We're used to Nerlens Noel being the backup center playing a whole bunch of minutes. We're used to that. I understand it. And even if Tibbs comes through in in a situation where Mitch was injured and he starts Jericho Sims, absolutely. I still think you're going to see a lot of minutes of more small ball with this Knicks team because the wings are there. We have Josh Hart, who is a rebounding monster, and we may be giving up a little bit of the paint protection, but that's going to be for a more spread offense and potentially a faster pace game.
Yeah. Nailed it. I think sure, he could play. I don't think it would be disastrous or apocalyptic. I don't think he'd ever make it to the court except in case of injury. That's where all right, this is a fun one. Let's throw it up, Dirty Dancer, and then we'll close out on this because this is a name I've not seen many people discuss. I think because people kind of assume the Clippers, especially after losing Paul George, are going to hold on to every decent player they've got with the clause, But Leon will find a real guy at center. Might be at the deadline, maybe an Ivica Zubac. I would really like that. He's a bruiser. That's I'm not sure about his rim protection metrics, but I test the guy's freaking huge. Good enough for me. And I just think that offensively he'll keep the ball moving. So sign me up if that's the backup big. I'm in. Kev, what do you think about Zubac potential fit on the Knicks salary cap and whatever else? Be damned. Just talking X's and O's.
Just X's and O's.
Just
yeah,
vibes.
he kind of I think he fits for what the standard Tibbsian center is going to be. He's going to rebound. He's going to set good screens. He's going to move the ball. I think he works fairly well out there in LA with the star-studded team that they've had. I don't think it's a terrible name. I just don't know what it'll take to get him. I know he's a free agent after the season, I believe. And he's making about $11 million this year. So I'm not sure what that boils down to. I doubt the Clippers would trade him now, but
no shot.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting name, and we're gonna have to start thinking outside of the box, especially if there isn't a major announcement this summer looking to improve that center depth. Is probably something that might happen, as the year goes along before the trade deadline, probably in December, because you know how Leon likes to make the December move as opposed to waiting to the February move,
the
deadline, early January,
yeah.
The December, early January Leon special. But Leon
the
Mitchell,
player that I saw that. I had to hide the laugh. Throw it up. Throw
a lob and watch it go through his hands. Nerlens Noel had ping pong paddles as hands.
That was special because it was awesome when he was blocking shots, just not when he needed to. I can tell you,
catch the ball.
Reporter, insider, whatever, Randall used to get pissed at him in practice. Like Julius would lose his shit on Nerlens in practice when because he wasn't catching passes. Because Julius, like
yeah. Julius is Nolan Ryan, like
he bro, he four seam he really tosses those things. I think it was DJ Zulo that was like, he probably has the fastest pass miles per hour, like on average in the NBA. Which, like, hyperbole maybe, but who cares? Because those shits fly. Like, he really, really, really sends passes at teammates. Nerlens was not. That was the year Julius was the number one option. Like, most of the passes were coming from him. And it was like trying to catch a fly, and you know what I mean? Like, oh,
yeah, right.
Oh, so yeah, that was respect to Nerlens, man. All right, Kev. 2024 Knicks Summer League. You were there. You watched half of it from television, but you saw one game in person?
Yeah, I was in Vegas for 5 days, but I only got to see
Adam Silver's league. Adam Silver. His fault. Anyway, couple sentence takeaways.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed watching Summer League this year, even though it was a little bit of a weird year because you had your top two picks were kind of like blah and especially like in their Summer League play. Reed Shepard was he was impressive to watch. He was really impressive to watch. Cam Whitmore also. I saw a few Houston Rockets games. It was good. I'm really looking forward to next year. I think next year is going to be awesome, especially with this year's rookies coming back. Hopefully, they realize they might need a little more seasoning and may need to play in their second year. But all in all, Summer League to me is always a good trip. I like to do it as like a trip with the fellas, like, you know what I'm saying? Out there watching basketball, hitting the tables in Vegas.
You and our guy Debo.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year is my first Summer League outing. I'll see you there. So
yes, sir.
What do people say? Manifest. I'll see you there. Let's
get it. Let's get it.
Yeah. Final takeaways from me. Tyler Kolek, you are everything I wanted and more. Pacome Dadier, you were a pleasant surprise when we drafted you, but it was bittersweet because I figured it would be like halfway through the next presidency before you maybe touched an NBA court, and it's looking like that's on track. Ariel Hukporti, you were a pleasant surprise. Kevin McCullough Jr., my expectations were that you wouldn't play. So when you didn't, whatever. Skapitsev, Rokas, you guys hooped. Shouts to Scappy and Rokas, man. They got their game off. And one last shout out to Damian Baugh, who, coming from the South Bay Lakers, came to the Summer League Knicks and got his game off too. And especially once Jacob Toppin got hurt, he made the most. Toppin had some good games, but Damian, man, he made the most of those opportunities. So with all that said, Kev, your Knicks Summer League MVP, who's the pick? You want a filibuster?
I'm gonna go with Tyler Kolek.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Tyler Kolek. He didn't score a lot, but he organized the team, and I'll go with Tyler Kolek.
I want to say Rokas Jokubaitis, but Summer League is about the future, so it's got to be Tyler Kolek. I'm glad we're in agreement. I wish I could say Rokas, but it's definitely Kolek, like definitely. Because again, Summer League's about looking forward for the team. So with all that said, Tyler Kolek, shout out to you, Hukporti, Skapitsev, the big men, Baugh, and Rokas, the guards. Shout out to you as well. Shout out to Justin Lewis. Got his game off a little bit. Shout out to Shout out to Dwayne Washington Jr.
Dwayne Washington Jr., who's gonna step back his way to a 3-pointer, who's gonna get the ball, see someone open, and be like, nah, I'm gonna go for the layup.
like Andrew Claudio said, he gets off the team plane and says, yo,
I'm open.
But nah, respect to you, Dwayne, because we needed someone's got to take the shots, right? So with all of that said, Kev, for the fifth and final time on the KFS page this summer, throw up that thank you message, throw up that goodbye. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Give this video a like, subscribe to the KFS YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a pod for the rest of summer. Listen, we are going to be deprived. I think y'all might be underrating. Dwayne Washington Jr. is letting you underrate how much you're going to miss the New York Knicks Summer League team in about a month when you realize, oh my God, there are 2 months to go before we start getting like training camp social media content. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you're on Twitter, what's up? Thank you for joining us. If you want, give Kevin and I a follow. We're tagged up above. And if you are listening after the fact on the KFS podcast feed, as I know lots of y'all like to do, leave a 5-star rating, leave a review. Shout out your boys KP and Kev in that review so that we don't get fired. Thanks so much for having us, everyone, for joining us, being part of the family, the community. If you commented, shout out to David Smith, to Kara Goldenberg, shout out to Nostalgic Nick, to Dirty Dancer, to John Pettit, NJ Latino 85. The names I saw most in the comments today. Oh, Leon Mitchell too. Those are the names I saw most in the comments today. So shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of your weekend. It's Saturday night. Go get a drink on Tyler Kolek, man. He'll throw the assist. He'll pay for it somehow from somewhere. So shout out to y'all. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Much love. Stay tuned. Right, if you liked my OG Anunoby mix set to Sade, Kiss of Life, we got another one coming. I'm gonna drop it Monday. It's the hardest fucking mix I've ever made in my life. And I gave Kev a sneak peek earlier today, so that's why he's laughing, because he knows the song choice is hilarious. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll see you, David. I hope not. Peace out, everyone.
All right, y'all.